Good morning, this is G'day Crypto. Here's the news with the fast facts. You can see the topics here on your right. We've got a lot to get over today. CBDCs, we're going to talk about the Fed, Elon Musk. There's a couple of good and bad things that are happening with Ethereum as well. So we will dive straight into all of it. Just checking out CoinGecko here, 1.17 trillion. We've been hanging out about 1.16, 1.18 for the last week and a half. A little bit of green, a little bit of red going down. I will show you something really awesome in a sec. Let's just check out Bitcoin. Past 24 hours, we did have a huge spike up to 27.1. And then when you go down, if the chart will load in a second, I want to show you this. My apologies. Down and to the right, I have been saying it is possible that we get down to the mid 25s. Maybe we are finding that buyer support come through, and people who didn't get in when it was around these prices are starting to FOMO in because it looks cheap, which it is. Ethereum on the same thing, 1820 came up in the past 24 hours, which is good. And pretty much sideways, a little bit down in the past week, down from 1900, but from that high. We'll see where it goes out. Check out this. This is awesome. So I've been showing you crypto bubbles. This is Banter bubbles here. If you aren't part of the Banter fam, go check them out. Rand's good. But check out this. So here's the bubbles. Audi's up 30%, Carver up 9.15. But this is where this gets really exciting. If you click on one of these bubbles here, there is a chat built into it as well. So you can find out what's going on with some of these things. This was just launched and people are starting to really take use of it. They will get to a place as well where you can click on these. It'll link straight to a DEX, I believe, and you'll be able to start trading straight from the bubbles as well. I thought that was pretty cool. We do have a video that I want to show you from Ron DeSantis. First, I just want to say this video, it's not financial advice. And I will show you the fear and greed indicator there. We are at 48, so we are in neutral territory, which is absolutely fantastic. The market has had a bit of a cooling off, a little bit of a reset. But let's go over and bring this video up here. And I think this guy is a good guy. How's that to see? So let me just hit play for everybody.
Movement amongst massive credit card companies to basically monitor the transaction of firearm retailers and individual consumers through unique codes that they're calling merchant category codes, or MCCs for short. And so this is a new code. It only applies to either retailers that sell firearms or consumers that purchase, and it's not even really limited to that, because as you know, there are sporting goods stores that sell firearms. They also sell a bunch of other stuff. You could be going just buying sporting goods for your kids' athletics. And oh, by the way, our tax relief, which we'll be announcing, you have no tax on youth sports equipment for next year, which would be really, really good starting July 1st. So you go in and do that. They can tag you or flag you as being somebody that somehow should be looked at, and that's just fundamentally wrong. So we believe that whole idea of MCCs is very political. We think it's going to be used against people just for extra.
Listen to what he has to say just coming up now. A very smart, intellectual guy. And whether he's right or wrong, I think he's doing the right thing to be able to provide freedom and choice. So I'll keep playing this.
Exercising their basic constitutional rights. And so you had a movement in the legislature. You had Commissioner Simpson. A lot of people understood this, and I said I'm very supportive of making sure that this is not allowed in the state of Florida. So the second bill we'll sign will prohibit the use of firearm-specific MCC codes, and we'll be the first state in the country to step up to the plate and prohibit these massive financial institutions from collecting data on you, flagging you, just for basically exercising your right. I mean, if you go and buy ammunition for your firearms, then you go to one of these shooting ranges, should you be flagged for doing that? I don't think so.
So that's fantastic. basically, there's a couple of videos out in the last over the weekend by Ron DeSantis, and he really is putting in frameworks to protect your privacy and freedom. And when you get people like this that understand that they have the power to do good and they are doing good, this is someone that I like. Anyway, we'll carry on. There is something I want to get back to with him, but just jumping into the news so you can catch up and get on with your day. There is significant risk of US Treasury running out of funds soon. So this is according to a report. The United States Congressional Budget Office has predicted that the US government's annual deficits will nearly double over the next decade. So the United States government faces a significant risk of no longer meeting all of its financial obligations as early as June. We are going to get a lot of news about this, and the markets are going to panic. It's very, very, very unlikely that the US will ever default on their debt. They'll just print more money or sign it in and have a larger budget. So the CBO predicts that if the debt limit remains unchanged, the US government could be in hot water as early as June. CBO projects that if the debt limit remains unchanged, there is a significant risk that at some point in the first 2 weeks of June, the government will no longer be able to pay off all its obligations. Not going to happen, but we are going to continue to hear that. Now, a little bit of wake up for the morning. President Biden announced his nominations for key position at the Federal Reserve. If you want a job at the Fed, time is now. Very secret society. Leadership at the Fed will likely have an impact on how the US government handles potential issuance of a central bank digital currency. So Joe Biden has announced his nomination of 2 people for key positions on the Federal Reserve, including a new Fed governor and economist, Philip Jefferson, as a vice chair. These nominees understand that this job is not a partisan one, but one that plays a critical role in pursuing maximum employment. Just on that note there, if it was to pursue maximum employment, curbing inflation and the way they're going about it at the moment currently is reducing employment. So hopefully they do stick to that. Obviously, we don't want to see anyone unemployed, but it is happening more and more, unfortunately. So maintaining price stability and supervising many of our nation's financial institutions. Fantastic. Good to see us in there. So leadership at the Federal Reserve will likely impact how the US government considers treating crypto and blockchain, particularly in the potential issuance of a central bank digital currency. Though proponents of a federally issued CBDC have suggested it could help reinforce the US dollar's status as the world reserve currency, some have attacked the digital dollar over privacy concerns. So going into privacy concerns here, we watched that video by Ron just before, and now check this out. Florida governor signs CBDC bill into law restricting some uses of US and foreign CBDCs. A new law signed by Governor Ron DeSantis urges other states to take action against the potential introduction of CBDCs through their commercial codes. Couple of things here. So the new law prohibits the use of a United States federal CBDC as money within Florida's Uniform Commercial Code. It also bans the use of CBDCs issued by foreign governments and calls on other states to use their commercial codes to institute similar prohibitions. I don't think they would have done that if they don't intend on implementing this. He said, were a US CBDC to be issued, it would be a massive transfer of power from consumer to a central authority. I think they want to crowd out and eliminate other types of digital assets like cryptocurrency because they can't control that, so they don't like that. Whether that's the agenda or not, I guess that's the risk to reward. Maybe just get a little bit of Bitcoin, gold, silver, Ethereum, whatever it is. Obviously not financial advice. And it may or may not happen where they want to totally get rid of cryptocurrency. We are seeing that with Operation Choke Point. Maybe stack it, not your keys, not your coins, get it out onto a ledger there, whatever it is that you need to do to be able to protect you and hedge that bet. So House Democrats consider new stablecoin bill proposal. Good and bad information here. a new bill is needed. Shout out to John Carter. The proposal comes weeks after Republicans introduced their own discussion draft of a new bill. The proposal, if successful, comes weeks after what has said lawmakers need to start from scratch on legislation addressing this corner of the crypto market. So a bill to address stablecoins has been a top priority of US lawmakers seeking to get a handle on crypto oversight. I'm not so sure if it's been a top priority. That's just my biased opinion. Otherwise, they would have had regulation coming out already. So when Republicans on the committee released a discussion draft that includes some of their most recent ideas, it gave strong authority to the states to continue regulating stablecoin issuers. But the Democrats' version would give the Federal Reserve upfront veto power over the registration of those issuers, a point that's sure to be contentious and ongoing debate. So the new Democratic version of the bill has a greater focus on consumer protection issues and would not allow non-bank stablecoin issuers to tap Federal Reserve programs. Keep you up to date with that one. That's going to be a very long, ongoing issue. What we want to see is regulation in the space, but favorable regulation. Obviously, Binance leaving Canada as well. So there is a lot going on here. So they've left Canada, citing regulatory tensions. And this one's close to CZ's heart. So the world's largest crypto exchange by volume said new guidance related to stablecoins and investor limits prompted their exit. There basically, there is one section here. Binance co-founder and CEO, CZ, is a Canadian citizen with the company describing its exit from the country as holding sentimental value. And then on Friday, Binance added that it did not agree with the new regulations, but still hopes to work with Canadian regulators to further develop a regulatory framework around cryptocurrencies. The gist of the story there is cryptocurrencies, digital companies can move anywhere in the world. They're going to go where it's more favorable. This is definitely not advice, but some people are just going to use a VPN to be able to get in and get off. DeFi is going to really explode. Last week, we were talking about Uniswap having higher daily transactions than Coinbase as well. So breaking records there. People are working out they can be anywhere at any time at the end of the day. Ethereum has had a little bit of trouble over the weekend. Not really that bad, but they do need to implement a fix for it real quick. So if you haven't caught up, we'll race through this real quick. It's probably why Ethereum comes straight back down after pumping back up. So it resumes finalizing blocks after second performance hiccup in 24 hours. When blocks are not being finalized, it is possible that pending transactions might be reordered or dropped from the network. The Ethereum blockchain suffered from a technical issue on Friday that caused the network to stop finalizing blocks for over an hour. The second such outage in the past 24 hours. I think the first one was about 25 minutes. Then the cause of which remains a matter of speculation, sparked major security concerns for users of the second largest blockchain by market cap. The network had resumed finalizing blocks at press time, but this is the second time Ethereum saw that in the past 24 hours, and then it said there 25 minutes Thursday as well. To be able to say whether or not the situation is the fault of the protocol design or an outcome of a bug, we need to first understand what actually happened there. These type of situations, I'll sum it up in a sec, but these type of situations, if they happen at the wrong time in the market, if we're really like in the midst of a bull run and there's outages, obviously that really stuffed with Solana, just be aware at the wrong time, they can cause a lot of FUD. Depending on market sentiment as well. It's all about narrative at the end of the day, so stay aware of these things. The second wave is over, but I fully expect a third. Old mate superfires.eth tweeted after today's incident advising the validators that operate the network to increase your hardware spec if you can, switch to a minority client if you can, apply patches when they're available, but really don't worry too much, he added. As bad as this looks, the chain keeps going and eventually finalizes. We'll get onto the GOAT in a sec, Elon Musk. Ethereum has got the largest developer community behind it as well, so they will fix it very quickly. And it's probably a good time that it's breaking now, so it doesn't happen when we're right at the frothy top, when things are really ramping up for it. Musk Milady meme opening up ordinals. Elon Musk just absolutely non-stop. I was watching an interview with him with Full Send when he was on the Full Send podcast. Very interesting. Anyway, Milady's NFTs saw a brief pump after Elon Musk tweeted about them, and Binance is making it easier for people to buy Bitcoin NFTs. Bloody strange NFT. I don't know what the appeal is. Anyway, ordinals moved further into the mainstream after Binance announced that it would soon add support for the Bitcoin-based NFTs in its marketplace. Meanwhile, Milady's, the Eerie is definitely the right word for that, wide-eyed NFT project that has spawned a cult following, saw a brief spike in its floor price after Elon Musk tweeted out a meme featuring an avatar from the collection. There's one more thing about Elon Musk and Twitter that we will get into. Just race through the most important things really quickly, and we'll end this with a little bit of fun. So the EU crypto tax plans include NFTs, foreign companies, draft tax shows. Laws set to be agreed next week, so that's going to be this week here. They're moving really quickly. Would require crypto companies to register with tax authorities even if they're based outside the bloc or offering NFTs. The European Union plans to force crypto companies to give tax authorities details of their clients' holdings, according to a draft bill released to CoinDesk under Freedom of Information laws. As part of a bid to stop EU resident stashing crypto aboard to hide it from the taxman, the Commission would have to set up a register of crypto asset operators by December 25. This is just bringing that forward by 1 year. Overseas crypto firms can report to foreign authorities that meet EU norms. It's actually not a bad thing, and it's sensible. If you're going in and out of a centralized exchange, that's the process. You need to pay your taxes, obviously, and definitely not financial advice, but there are ways to stay outside the centralized exchanges, VPNs, using a hardware wallet. Get your tokens off the exchange, eh? Now, this is really exciting, then we'll get into Twitter. Again, LG Electronics seeks patent for TV which lets users trade NFTs. This is really cool because they're not the only people doing it. The move to file for a patent suggests that LG sees ongoing consumer demand for NFTs in the future and sees a business case for making them more accessible. But check this. They're not the only electronics giant to have spotted an opportunity in NFTs. Samsung released an NFT marketplace on 3 of its TVs in Jan 2020, supported by Nifty Gateway. So the device, the TV, would be able to establish a connection with an NFT market server and receive and display preview artwork and fulfill purchases via the user's crypto wallet, which would be connected to the TV. So they've been going on at this for a while. Now back into the GOAT, Elon Musk. They have found a new CEO. I was on Twitter the other day, and the picture of the new CEO was Caroline Ellison from FTX. I definitely don't think that is her. Musk hasn't identified his replacement by name, but said she'll start in about 6 weeks. There is pictures of a lady from the World Economic Forum as well. Maybe it's her, maybe it's not. Whoever it is, I'm sure Musk will stay in control with Twitter, because it's the type of person from the outside looking in that I see. So I don't know if it'll be a good or a bad thing. I think it'll just be what it'll be. Musk, who bought Twitter last year, and following a poll that suggested this, said he'd find someone else to serve as CEO, will shift into the executive chair and chief technical officer roles at Twitter, he said. And there are hints Twitter might get involved with crypto. In April, they briefly changed their logo to Dogecoin. We obviously saw that. Real quick, if you haven't already, hit subscribe if we vibe. I'll keep you up to date. News with the fast facts. Carrying on. Now, also, the Financial Times reported earlier this year that Twitter was building a payments platform that could eventually accommodate cryptocurrencies. Elon Musk is an innovator. He's the world's best capital allocator. So worth watching Twitter and seeing what happens. I think at the end of the day, it will be favorable for the space. Whether or not you think he has good intentions, I reckon he's an all right kind of guy. See you on the next video. Be blessed. Peace.